I just, I just had a series of dreams that were really disturbing. And the weird thing is that I know why. On the side of my bed, I have a book that a buddy loaned me about the final solution in the Holocaust in World War II and what the Nazis had done. And I think we all know sort of the bird's eye view of it, but it gets into um, it gets into some details that are just the experimentation, the picking up of kids by their legs and slamming their heads against walls to shut them up and throw them in the fire and save bullets. And one guy was he was submerged alive in ice water just to see what would happen to his body. You know, things like that. One particular thing that made me sick, and I'm ashamed to be human. They took some guys and they forced them to submerge their testicles in ice water. And when their screams got boring enough, they took their balls out and they submerged them in boiling water. And I guess that was fun for a while, and then that got old. So they pulled them out, and they covered their tortured scrotums with iodine to see how they would react to the pain. It's like unthinkable that people could even think that shit up, you know? Anyway, I just had this dream, and it was the most frustrating thing in the world. I remember being with my phone, and I was trying to do something, but I couldn't figure out where I was and who to talk to that would help me out. There were some situations where there were little kids getting hit by cars, which is weird. And I remember seeing some of the carnage. But I was in the back seat of a car and we were driving through the desert. It was like in between cities, like on the way home from Vegas or something. And it might have been like a quarter of a mile away from like an America's Tire or something, you know what I mean, in some sort of truck stop. And on the right, alongside the road, was a girl, young girl, pretty girl. She was on a skateboard, and she was cruising along on her skateboard, and there was a man that was running right behind her, and it looked like he was pushing her or something. And she was looking straight ahead, and I couldn't tell if she even knew he was behind her, but she looked like she was trying to keep a straight face. And as I was in the back seat of the car, and as we drove up, I looked out to the right to see what this was going on. This girl, this skateboard, and this guy pushing her, and he was running like exactly the same speed as the car or as the skateboard. And I look out, and he has a knife. So he's basically holding her at knife point into the small of her back, and he's forcing her to either go the same speed of him or sort of like keep moving, don't say anything type of thing. And I looked out, and as soon as we I felt like he could see me looking at him, and he stopped, and they both stopped, and he grabbed her by the neck and he pulled her off the road, and we just kept driving on. So they were just kind of left back there. So I was like, dude, we gotta call 911. Stop. Let's turn around. Let's go back. And the next thing I know, we were like at some sort of house, and I was running around trying to find out what city are we in. I gotta call these guys. I was trying to call 911, and they kept giving me 800 numbers, and none of the 800 numbers were giving me somebody to talk to. I was running around looking for the address of and the town and the state, and trying to find out. You gotta come back to this highway, and there's this girl who needs help. It was just horror. But it was because of the book I read just before I fell asleep. Interesting, huh? All that evil was manifested in something a little more abstract than Nazi Germany, but it was all kind of the same thing. Dreams are weird.